Apart from resource management, Microsoft Project also helps you in what we call tracking the progress of your work. Microsoft Project helps you in tracking the project of your work and trying to see whether your assumptions when you are planning is not deviated from the reality on ground. For instance, within the Nigerian space, if you had planned a project to go all through last week, and with the disruptions we had almost everywhere in the country with the End SARS protest, it is obvious that you might not be able to achieve all that is required or that you plan for that week. Because ab initio, there is not supposed to be any public holiday during those weeks. So it's supposed to be a complete work week. So tracking helps you to benchmark your plan with the reality and see what is the level of deviation and see what you can do to resolve that. And Microsoft Project make provisions for all this. Microsoft Project make provision for all this. Microsoft Project as a smart, trustworthy assistant also help you in reporting. I'm saying all this, I'm giving you a big picture of what you can do with Microsoft Project because for the purpose of the class, we might not be able to go all to actually look at everything. So when you understand the big picture, its capacity, then you understand the bits that we have done and you have a better idea of the gap that is left for you to fill in your quest for knowledge and professional development going forward. So apart from reporting, it also helps you to customize. It helps for customization so that you can use the tool and customize it to the project, tilt it towards the reality of the project. And let me quickly say this. Apart from Microsoft projects as an application, especially if you are working in an enterprise environment. What does enterprise environment mean? Let's take a multinational, for example. You have offices in different parts of the globe, people speaking different languages with different currencies, different exchange rates. Microsoft project can also help you to handle that. You have a major exchange rate and it can give you the interpretation of that at your own local level for you to be able to know, to have the local idea in terms of your currency and even your language. It has capacity for even language translation, especially when you integrate it with a project cloud server, that is SharePoint. Because there is no way you'll be working at an enterprise level and you will not need SharePoint. And we also have what we call Microsoft Project Web App. Is the web interface, a web-based client interface for Microsoft projects. So if you look at the entire solution, Microsoft helps you in project management solution. It has enterprise capacity for project standardization, for resource management, for team collaboration, for communication, executive analysis, and portfolio management. So it has huge capacity whereby everybody can contribute their quota and can see what is happening to a project within different phase and space. So that is the big picture. For the purpose of the class, we'll be taking it gradually and we'll be moving it on. If you look at it, when you're working with Microsoft's projects, the first thing on any project is that you initiate the project. The project comes as an idea. When the project comes, then you begin to plan for it. And you know, projects are different from routine. Routines are things that you do in an organization or as an individual on a regular basis. That is different from projects that comes probably once in a while, except if you as a professional, all you do is to help people manage projects, then that becomes your own core. And one thing you will also learn, which guides you, especially as project manager, if that is your core and what you do, you will discover that when you get to Microsoft project, It gives you permission, opportunity to open a blank project, and it also gives you templates. Templates are prototypes of different existing projects that you can adopt and customize it to suit whatever you want to do. So even you, for instance, we are talking about how to build 5-bedroom duplex project now. If you do this and you execute it and you look at your variation, this becomes a template. So if this project, you're looking at a land that is on a dry land, by the time you get to a land that is a little bit wet, the variation will be what you need to do, compare a wet land to a dry land. But every other thing will still be constant. So if project management is your core that you do regularly, when you are done with one well thought out experience, it becomes a template for you. When you want to do something that is similar, you can go back to that and guide yourself. And that is one of the key process in thinking. A good thinker could leverage on the last well thought out activities or well thought out activities of other thinkers, and that will act as a template. And a template is nothing but a guide. And that is why when you adopt a template, you could change some things, delete some things, add some things, and the process of doing that is what we call customization. You are now customizing it to be your own. Is that clear? So as I said, the project process is you initiate the project, plan the project, then you execute the project. During execution, you interact with Microsoft Project a lot, because what you have here on this your Gantt chart is just the plan. So it's during execution, you'll be looking at this, then it helps you for monitor and control. And when everything is done, you close the project. When everything is done, you close the project. For now, I can see that some of you have added date, start date and finish date. Don't worry, if you have done it, fine. If you have not done it, it is not urgent. We'll all go back to it. Even those that have done it will see the reason for you to change a little sometimes, because at the baseline calendar they are using might be different from what we use. And for the fact that they have it, if they change their calendar, they will see the effects. But all of us will get there. All of us will get there together. All of us will get there together. So please note it. Before next class, you need to have resources that is needed for each project task. You can sketch it somewhere, and if you're able to get there today, I will guide you on how to put it here so that you can put it here immediately. But if you don't have it, if you can't put it on your project yet, just write it down. The same way you wrote down the procedure earlier on, the resources that will be needed for each of them. Then by the time I guide you through on how to put your Microsoft project, you put it there. Because if you look at Microsoft, for instance, Adewale, look at where you have, towards the left, you see Gantt chart. You see a drop-down arrow after on that Gantt chart. That's the view. Click on it. Click on that view. The drop-down arrow. No, where you have Gantt chart off. Yes, click on it. Click on the drop-down arrow.
Yeah, I already did. I have calendar, Gantt chart.
Hold on. Calendar view, Gantt chart, network, resource chart, resource usage, resource form, task usage, task form, timeline, tracking Gantt. Hold on, just leave it. So you can see that apart from the Gantt chart is the first chart you see, because it shows you how your project is scheduled. It shows you your timeline. It shows you the relationship. It shows you projects that can keep running simultaneously. And it shows you projects that will have finished before another one starts. But that is just one view. We have almost 30 different views if you are using Microsoft Project 2016, 2019, 365. So sometimes you don't want to see just the task. You want to see how your resources are being used. You want to see relationship. You want to see a timeline. So there are different views. But as we continue, you will see what each of those views look like and what they translate into in giving you feedback about a project and in making decisions about project. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Good. As project managers, you are concerned with the scope of the project, the time, the cost, the human resources, the procurement, communication, quality, and the risk. Very important. For every project, you must have a place where you have your risk and what are the action steps you have to plan to mitigate those risks. Every project has its own risk level. Some are low risk, some are moderate risk, and some are high risk projects. So take note of that. Now, so this same thing is called human resources, procurement, and risk. Now, I hope we are all familiar with all these project management terminology, especially as we'll be using it in Microsoft Project. When we talk about baseline, date constraint, deliverable, dependency, the reliance of one task upon another. When one task cannot start or finish until a related task starts or finishes. The tasks are dependent on one another or related. It's also referred to as task link or task relationship. Then we've also seen the Gantt chart. The Gantt chart is a graphical representation of a project. The half of a Gantt chart is table listing your task name, and the other task related, and the other are the task related information. The right half of the chart is a bar chart along a timeline in which each bar represents a task, its start and finish date, and its duration. And how it's linked to other stats can also be represented. Please get yourself familiar with all these terms as you'll be using them in Microsoft Project. You also understand a network diagram. Probably in the next after the next 2 or 3 lectures, we'll see the different views. For now, we are seeing only the Gantt chart. We're able to see the network diagram, which is a graphic representation of what the project looks like. It has nodes, and each node represents tasks and link lines showing the relationship among the tasks. Well, I know you are used to PRT, project evaluation and review techniques. You understand what portfolio, scope, and stakeholder is. So all these are basic terminology that we'll be getting to use at different points. Now, if you're working with Microsoft Project, just like I've mentioned earlier, it has a complete package and it has quite a whole lot of benefits for us as user. It has a whole lot of benefit for us as user. Now, let's try to see if we can do some small practicals to continue from where we stop. Let's see if we can do some small practical to continue from where we stop. Now, Ade, can you now share your screen again? Share your screen again, Adewale. Go to the project tab, project type, good. Good. Click on project. You've not clicked on it. Click on the project.
Okay.
Good. Now, you see where you have properties. Do you see project information by the left?
Yes, sir.
Click on it. Good. Everybody, can you see the project information dialog box? The project information dialog box gives you a whole lot of things about the current project that you are working on. You will see it has the start date, the current date, the finish date is blank, and I'll tell you, because the finish date will be calculated by the number of tasks. And for it not to have a clash, so it's blank for now. Now, so from here, you can see, you can create a little status for this project that you're working on. Now, it has the current date, which is today. Then you can decide the date that the project will start.
Okay.
Now, another thing I also want you to see is the calendar. If you look at the calendar, basically, there are 3 types of base calendars. Base calendar is the calendar the project is starting with. There are 3 types. You have standard, you have 24 hours, and you have night shift. 3 types of base calendar. Each of those calendars has what they represent. and what each of them means. For instance, if you look at the base calendar, the standard calendar, it has the working time, Mondays to Friday. The standard is Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. with 1 hour for lunch between 12 noon and 1 p.m. each day. And by default, this is the base calendar that is used for your project task and for your project resources. Now, you can change all that with time. I would let you know, because that is very important. Because when you are listing your project task and you say it's going to take 3 days, that 3 days to Microsoft project is talking about 3 working days. So if you use the standard calendar, if you said a task will take 3 days and you put the starting on a Friday, definitely that task will end on a Tuesday, because it's seen Saturday and Sunday as a work-free day. If you are doing your project in hours, some people don't do days, they do hours. So it will calculate the hours between 8 and 5 and take away 1 hour, 12 noon and 1 p.m. for lunch. And that is the number of hours it will calculate for that day, and that will determine how it's going to spread it. You know, when you are doing your scheduling, you can do manual scheduling, you can do automatic scheduling. Manual scheduling means you are the one that will put the start date and you are the one that will put the end date. If you are doing automatic scheduling, when you put the start date, based on the calendar that is activated, the system will automatically put the end date for you. Based on the calendar that is activated, the system will automatically put the end date for you. Is that clear, everybody?
Yes, sir.
For now, we will work with the standard calendar, but with time, I will guide you on how to change the standard calendar if there is need. For instance, if you take night shift see working time as 11 p.m. till 8 p.m. for 5 days a week, with an hour for lunch between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. So if some people are using night shifts, you can use night shift. Then there's what is called 24 hours. Working time is set to midnight until midnight, 7 days a week, which means it never stops. So this baseline is used for projects that runs irrespective of days and nights, and it doesn't need rest. And majorly, there are projects that are being run by machines, because human beings cannot dare to do that. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So those 3 calendar types are base calendar. Any of them can be customized. You can customize your standard calendar. You can customize your night shift. You can customize your 24 hours. You can create a copy of the standard calendar and say you work on Saturdays. So Saturday is part of your project week. So you can add Saturday. If Sunday is part of your project week, you can add it. If your own break is not 1 hour but 30 minutes, you can customize it. So it is that calendar that it will use to do your scheduling. All the scheduling you see now is based on the assumption of the standard calendar. So if your work schedule or calendar is different from the standard calendar, then the first thing you need to do is to change your calendar. Is that clear, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Have you all seen where the calendar is on your system?
Yes, sir.
Now, go to the project again. On the property group, you can click OK here. On the property group, click OK here. Click OK on this one. You see change working time. Click on it. Do you see what happens now? Because you're using the standard calendar, it has told you the working days are the non-working days. You can say the one that is white is working days, this one is non-working, edited working days, and things like are you there? So you can see where you have to create new calendar. So you can create a new calendar. Click on that create new calendar. Click on the create new calendar. So a copy of standard calendar, or you can give it your name. Another name. You could have calendars that are customized to different projects. You all understand that you have different kind of projects. So you can give your calendar a name. You can just call this one class practice calendar or whatever. But what you have here now is copy of standard calendar. You can give it another name that you like. Then click on create new base calendar. And click OK. You can see the name now. So here now, where you have exception work weeks, click on the work weeks tab. No, down. You have a tab down. No, you see exception, good. Click on the work weeks. Good. So here, I'll guide you. You can determine which days are working days, which days are not working days. For instance, your own Saturday is working day. You can click on all the Saturdays and say that they are working days. Are you with me? So when you click OK, all the changes you make goes into that, your new calendar. Okay, for instance now, okay, you can see working time for October is, each of the dates you select, it will tell you. If you select any of those dates, so you can change it, and I'll guide you through the process of doing that shortly. Just move around it, and I'll guide you on how to do that. Now, put your cursor on that row 1 where you have default. Good. Then select details. Do you see what it gives you? So when you select details now, you can now put for this day, the working time from this time to this time. You select Monday, working time to this time. The day that is not working time, you set it to non-working time. Click on Sunday, click set day to non-working time. Good. So you can click on Monday now. So you now put the time. What is working time on Monday? You can say your own is 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., 12 hours.
It's not I like to. Okay, set this to.
Because because the reason why it's not selecting before is because you say you use the default project times. So, but if you want to set the date, you now select your date, the starting days, and from what time to what time. You know you're on Mondays now. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Monday also have okay, good. Now hold on. If there is break, if you have break, just like what you have done, 7 to 12 p.m. If 12 to 1 is break, then you start another one, 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. So the one that is not there is the break time.
Okay.
Do you get it now? Do you get it now? So you can select Tuesday. Let's assume Tuesday is non-working day. You can make it non-working day.
Non-working.
If you want it to be a working day, we are just practicing. Select Wednesday. So you can say for Wednesday, you should use normal time. Now, 3 things we have done now. We set Sunday to non-working days. We set Tuesday to non-working days. Monday, we use specific date. Wednesday, we change it to the regular date of base calendar. Now, select Thursday now. And click set days to these specific working times. And it allows you to change it.
Yeah.
So this is critical when you are setting up any project, because it will count the number of days, count the number of hours. So you must decide the calendar you want to use and determine your working time and your break time. It allows for 2-3 breaks. For instance, if people will have 30 minutes break twice or thrice in a day, you can do that. That is why you have about 5 options there. So anytime you don't specify there is seen as break. But every time you specify is seen as what? Hold on, click OK. Click OK first. You can see your calendar. Tuesday is set
Yes.
to not working, Saturday is set to not working. So click on details again so that you can set Saturday to a working day.
Default or
You can
specific.
use your own time. Be fast with this. Just try different timing. You can say 2 to 3 is break, so you can say 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. is work time again. So you can change down to 9 p.m. and click OK. You will see that on your system, you will see your changes. So if you place your cursor on any date, place your cursor on Thursday 15. You can see, if you look towards your right, working time for this October 15, 7 a.m. to 12 p.m., then 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. Are you with me? Put your cursor on Tuesday 20. Tuesday 20, click on Tuesday 20. It's telling you non-working. Do you understand how to set your calendar, everybody? If you understand how to set your calendar, give me a yes in the chat box. If you have any problem, let me know. Because this is critical because to doing any serious project management work through Microsoft Project, because you have to own your project and determine your own condition and criteria. Good. Good. So almost everybody is saying a yes. Great. That's good. If you take notes of your start date and end date before you change your calendar, you will discover that it will have changed. Your Gantt chart will have changed because what constitutes working days has changed. The number of hours that you work in a day has changed. So you have to be in charge of your calendar, determine the calendar you work, determine your working time, determine your working days, and it reflects accordingly on your schedule and on your Gantt chart and other views within Microsoft Project. You can see that you've given that your calendar a name. And that brings to bear another important things we need to note. You know, you could have different projects and each of them will have their characteristics. Now, if for a particular project, that kind of calendar is one that is suitable, you can name the calendar with the project, the kind of project that such calendar is suited for. And you can see one thing, it has changed it. It has added it to the list of calendars. Go to your project again, click on change working time or project information, anyone. Click on it, be fast. If you look at calendar, click on where you have calendar for calendar. Look at the, you can see it has added that your calendar, Max Fortress, as part of the calendar type. Yes. So next time you will need to use that calendar, you don't need to keep setting it again. You will just select it, just like you selected any of the previous base calendar, like your standard, your night shift, or your 24 hours. So it stores that setting and make it another type of calendar available for you to work with, so that you don't need to keep doing those changes all the time, except you want to create another type of calendar. That is when you go through the process again. I hope that is clear. Good.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Because of the so many things we need to do, I will just tell you about some things and we might not be able to practicalize it. For instance, you can set holidays. You know, holidays take place once in a year. For For instance, you know, there are basic holidays like December 25 is Christmas, January 1st is New Year. There are countries that have different holidays, different national holidays that they don't work. You can see you have what they call exception day. So those exception day, you can create exception day. They are like holidays. They are days that there is no work. And it changes from country to country. Even some companies, they could say on 5th of June, every year, our company doesn't work because we use it to celebrate the founding father. So you discover that that day is just a work-free day for that company alone because it's their own way of honoring the man who founded the company. So there are holidays, exception days you can create. Now, on your own, you might pick out to do that because I don't want us to spend more time on this because I want us to touch small, every important area of project that we need to start a project, put all our details there, track the project, do reporting, and tidy it up at the end. So we might not be able to go into details in that. We'll just pick a little gradually and move on. At subsequent classes or any other opportunity I have, I can throw videos or anything at you for you to get yourself acquainted with those details. But I'm just trying to make you understand that those things exist. You can set up holidays or one-time calendar exceptions, things that just come just once. And you can determine the number of time that it will happen. Then another thing you can also do, you can also set up exceptions and the number of times the exception will occur. Hold on, let me tell you what that means. If you have recurrent activities, if you have recurrent activity as part of your project, for instance, let's assume every Tuesday by 11 o'clock, you have review meeting every week. Every Tuesday, you have review meeting. You can click on a Tuesday as a recurring event, as a recurring task, and said review meeting. And it will ask you how many times do you want it to occur. You can say it should occur 30 times, which means for 30 weeks, which means 11 o'clock Tuesday for the next 30 weeks, you have blocked it as a review meeting, as a recurring event. We'll still see how many of them we can try. But I need you to come up to date with what we have done in class. So decide your calendar. If you want to use the standard calendar, fine. But even if you are using the standard calendar, change the calendars and see the effect it has on your project. Then attach resources to your project. Do you have questions?